Gun of Terror! We are in the loser's bracket of the 4th qualifier of the Banshee Cup, and we have Day Quasar in the house. The Space Goofs are playing against Team Ash, and Day Quasar has been part of the lineup for the Space Goofs for a long time here, but we haven't seen him yet play for them, but here he is today. And it should be a pretty awesome match, honestly. Space Goofs against Team Ash, I mean, count me in. Space Goofs, great team, real fun, a lot of guys that we haven't seen in a while. And then on the other side, we now have Team Ash who play their first tournament here. It was kind of funny earlier in Twitch chat too, because we've been talking a lot about like new stuff coming into the game, announcers, and back in the day there was at some point the idea to have maybe announcers in game for the casters, and Tim and I, we already suggested we should have like a duo announcer, not one for him, me, but like the Trixler Khaldor announcer, and we are going full Cho'Gall style. Every time you pick a shitty talent or you die, I'm coming in bitching at you, it's like, what the hell did you do? How bad are you at this game? Stuff like that, like just something silly. And then Tim comes and he's like, don't listen to him, you're doing really great, you got this, buddy. It would have been amazing. The type of interactions that he could have thrown in there, it would have been so damn good. But yeah, unfortunately Blizzard hates fun, so that never happened. Even in the HTC days, but oh god, it would have been glorious. Anyways, Team Ash bans the new addition to the Nexus, the newest hero. They ban Hogger, and they also get rid of Diablo. As we're jumping into our first pick. I just want to see Blaze now. I'm actually disappointed that it's Lucio, for the only reason that Day Quasar has played Blaze so much, and he played him in every single tournament. They always went for first pick, that people said, can you play anything else but Blaze? And he's like, I want to play something else, but he's the best hero, and they just don't ban him. They don't pick him away from me. It would have been so good if now, you know, once that we have him back in the game, he actually has to play him again. He might still. Okay, now, the threat is over. He can play a different hero. Jojo is picked together with Blaze for Team Ash. So they go for the same frontline combo again that they have played previously. But yeah, good times. So, Lucio for X-Ray on Garden of Terror. It's a big map. Hogger is therefore banned. You can still play Greymane, you can play Sonya. The idea is always the same. You want to have heroes that are very good at claiming mercenary camps. There's so many mercenary camps here, so you could do a lot with that. They go for the Haka, and they pick Hanzo. So Hanzo is also taken away from bishops, therefore. That's always one thing that you can do if you're not able to ban a hero that you think your opponent wants to play. Just pick it away if you get the chance. And yeah, on top of that, the final bans now coming in, they can get rid of one more. Can also target Renella a bit if they really wanted to. And yeah, Renella has been beasting it up with a couple of his support players. Particularly in the last series, when he solo killed Chromie with Anduin. That was just fantastic. Oh, it was great. It was just great. Yeah, Renella had a couple of games also during Meta Madness where he just stepped up and saved the entire team. Fantastic, but I could see him play Anduin here. Depending on what else they want to lock in now, they could do that, but they ban out Volstad first, so they want to make sure that there's no global presence against the Haka. If you now want to global it up, they could still do something like, I don't know, third melee. They could go for some Moro or something along those lines. Brightwing is banned as well. It seems more and more that we only have one global in the game. Renella goes for Rhaegar. We have Cassia played currently for Morenas, but they could also swap that over. Bishops has played that a lot too, so yeah, they can do that as well. And with that, we now have the next double pick here. Final double pick for game number 1 in our best of 3 series. And it is Varian plus Jaina. Jaina great for camps as well with her rotation. She can actually do a lot of work on Siege Giants and any other camps to get that very quickly. But one of the main reasons here is of course the follow-up on Varian's Taunt and also the Haka's Tongue, just to make sure that they're getting the burst damage connected. And that leaves us with the final pick. Bishops can now make his choice. And, well, off we go. Final pick for map number 1 in the best of 3 series here. 4th qualifier for the Banshee Cup, and it is Genji. Game number 1 on the left, the Space Goofs, ladies and gentlemen. Quasar with the Haka, X-Ray on Lucio, we got Yasu on Jaina, Play on Varian, and Chiseka is playing Hanzo in our first game of the best of 3. And I expect a pretty awesome series here. We got Team Ash on the right side with Renella on Rega, Morenas is playing Cassia, Maitrai on Jojo, Down for Life is playing Blaze, and we get Bishops with Genji. Well, and Renella or whoever else had a problem here apparently solved it, so we are good to go. And we're going to take a look at the Space Goofs. I like that they adopted the name now, so it's going to be fun. They were called Zins de le Space or something, like a French cartoon show in the 90s. And that translates directly into Space Goofs, and they actually renamed themselves after the first tournament into Space Goofs too. We have some stacking going on, mainly for... we have a couple of stacking talents, but obviously when we're talking about the indefinite stacks, then it's mainly Cassia that we're highlighting here. Going straight with the Lightning Fury stacks on level 1 into the added damage that Morenas can get as the game continues, unless he dies. And he makes it out, and they get the kill. But Cassia dies too. So it's a kill for a kill as they're coming through. Jaina dies, Cassia dies as well. And, well, at this point, it is a 1 versus 1 established at the top lane, each team getting their initial kill. For Cassia, it's good in the sense that she was able to get early stacks going. Obviously, her dying, bit of a detriment to that. But you gotta start somewhere. And they just did. So they got the 5 stacks for her. Can now try and work on that down at the bottom of the map as the teams are starting to come down here with a 3-man. Renella already in trouble and is able to get out as we get Cassia moving in for a few more stacks, and so far Morenas is actually doing pretty alright. Now keep in mind, the rule of thumb is that around the 8-minute mark you want to have 40 stacks. That's just the ballpark. If you get the fights, if there are skirmishes, you can always try and force them, of course, but the more aggressive you are in the early game, the easier it can also backfire into you. We have Play with Varian. Oh, they actually are starting to engage here. And they're stealing the camp. They get it. Nice. Timing was absolutely perfect, and now they're going for a kill too. They take Varian down. Boah, that was good. Not only do they get the camp, but also a kill. Hell yeah, sign me up for that. They're going to be very happy with that. Fantastic opening, allowing them to get an early level 4 talent. So that's already a W, and now they're putting additional pressure onto the top laner, trying to get him as well. So not bad. Really not bad what they're pulling off here. A little bit of a move being made now by Dehaka with the Tong, but nothing that forces a kill. We have Taunt in on level 4. And more camps about to be claimed on the map, which is obviously going to be pretty big on this one. Just generally speaking, if you have a map like Garden of Terror where there's tons of mercenary camps and you claim them, you will get a whole lot of momentum. I love that the blue team was trying to be aggressive here as well and just simply moved in to steal the camp away, but they just were a second too late. But it's really cool that they are not just sitting back, focusing on their own side of the map, but are willing to engage into aggressive fights. Seeing Quasar, by the way, up at the top here is, I don't know, it is just fun to me. It's cool to see some of the guys, you know, back for this tournament. Quasar having taken a break, now playing. We've seen Make play, X-Ray as well, playing for the blue team. So it's pretty sweet to have all of that coming up. But, well, talking about X-Ray and Quasar, they're both at the top. Hanzo dies, killed by his brother. The Kinslayer strikes again, but they're also taking out their top side wall. Good damage from the red team as they're claiming... oh, Genji's also here. Could claim another victim. Level 7 is kicking in. 3 kills to 1. And yeah, they're not making a move yet. Kind of funny Cassia on the mount here. But okay. The Valkyrie is riding in a little bottle ship into battle. Jaina goes down, and that's kill number 4. So Team Ash is opening this series up with a bit of a bang. 15 stacks for Cassia, not too shabby. We still have a fight against Lucio, and they are about to take the first seed. So, good stuff. They're taking more camps, they're taking more kills, they're taking the lead in experience, and they're slowly starting to move all of this forward with a seed that they should be able to pick up as well. Haven't done so yet, and the blue team can always try and interrupt. Especially now, top side, bit of a drag here in that 1 versus 1. Keep in mind that the Quasar is actually one of the players that in the past has managed to take multiple side laners out all by himself, which should not really happen, at least not a lot, but he's always somehow able to pull it off. Now the fight for the seed has started to break out. Genji starting to move in. Dehaka, yeah, of course, they're moving for my try, and they're gonna get the kill. Yes, they do. Jojo is there despite Rhaegar's efforts to keep her alive. Genji moves out too, and the blue team now with the opportunity to go for the seed themselves. Nicely done. Just as the red team was about to take a bit of an advantage in this game, they are the ones going into the team fight, dropping not only Jojo but also Blaze. Fair, they lose Lucio in the same battle, but this is still a bit of a victory. They're going for Morenas, might get a kill. Oh, he tried to trade, couldn't. Is still not down though. Maybe here, yep, 1 from Rhaegar, and Yasuo has to fall back. Genji comes in and grabs the kill. Morena still alive and makes it out of the fight. Some insane jukes and fantastic timing from Morenas there. Cassia able to survive through all of this is honestly nothing short of spectacular. The seed also claimed by the red team, 3 kills to 6. And this must be pretty upsetting for the team in blue, because all of this looked very good initially. And then the red team stepped it up. Some of the players really going the full distance, specifically Cassia with stack after stack, a lot of damage dished out, and then not even dying. Her surviving was great. Not only the jukes from Cassia herself, but also the way that we had then Rhaegar come in and drop the heal at just the perfect moment. So yeah, that was massive. Absolutely massive. Level 10 abilities allow them to take even a bit more control over all of this. They're obviously going to be very happy with how the game is shaping up thus far. 1 level ahead. That in and of itself is already big. They're opening some of the walls up here. And with the next seed spawning at the top, they could go for it too. But they have siege giants now at the bottom of the map, and they're trying to take down that bot lane fort. Arrow, nice. And the Ancestral, even the bunker is out. Jet propulsion to turn the fight. And the kill is there. Absolutely textbook how they pulled that off just now. So insanely well done, and it allows them to go for the fort. But yeah, just check this one out. I mean, they're going in with the arrow, which initially looked fantastic. Then Ancestral, bunker, jet propulsion, and it turns into a double kill against Lucio and Jaina. So beautiful turnaround. Baited them in, and then turned it to get a double kill. 8 kills to 3, X-Strike, they go for Quasar. Ah, and he survives. Quasar can't kill him that easily. Quasar is still alive. They started to chase them even further. At the bottom of the map, the fort has fallen. Siege Giants making it happen. And now the seed at the top is still there. So we have seed number 2 potentially for the red team, depending on who takes it. But giving the double channel, it seems like at least one will go over to the team. He was just waiting for Genji. I mean, he was literally just waiting here. Not that it makes a difference. He's still able to get out. But the more time Genji can buy, the better. Because it allowed the red team at the bottom of the map to steal another mercenary camp. And they might also get Quasar, who is hopelessly lost here. All alone. Can they catch up? No, they cannot. And the arrow shot by Hanzo to save Dehaka. Doesn't even connect, but it doesn't have to. So, nicely done. 13 talents are now kicking in. That means that we're getting the tidal waves, the synergy with the Earth Living Enchant. We have, at the 8-minute mark, 31 stacks for Cassia. Nothing insane, nothing to write home about here, but it's definitely still solid enough to get some additional damage in, which we're going to see from her throughout all of this. Another camp about to be stolen. They're hyper-aggressive with this. They're going from one camp to another, and you just have to look at the minimap to see how many of them they were able to steal away throughout the course of the game. So, great job by them. We are now looking at 20,000 damage for Genji. Cassia is sitting at 20,000 as well. Lucius, by the way, gone into the bubble. Might have to use it here if he wants to save the day, but nope, it's too late already. Varian is already gone. No saving him anymore. The Ring of Frost is not doing anything either, and the red team is just now following up with an additional kill. They go for X-Ray, drop Lucio, and then turn on the fort in the middle to destroy another major structure in this game. Spectacular performance thus far from Team Ash. From start to finish, they're controlling the flow of the game. They're doing massive amounts of damage to the forts. They have taken every single one of them apart now. There's not a single fort left for the blue team. And of course, with the seeds and everything, I mean, they're not even going for the objective all that aggressively. They're just using the camps that they've stolen away over and over again to make their moves here. Arrow still flying. Arrow camera catching it all. And, well, at the same time, the gate is mostly destroyed. Well, the Quas are coming in. Maybe now an opportunity. Ancestral comes from Rhaegar. Renella saving the day for Cassia. They lose Jaina. And every single fight that the Space Goofs are trying to force here backfires against them eventually. And this is a 4 versus 5, or at least it was. Blaze isn't even here. Blaze is at the bottom of the map. Now it seems like Morenas might fall, but again he survives, and it's Varian who bites it instead. 16 to 13. What a performance by the red team. What a performance by Team Ash. They have Down for Life at the bottom of the map with Blaze, breaking through the gate here. In the middle of the map, another push has been coming into 12 kills, 2-3. And the Space Goofs are in some serious trouble in this opening game. I mean, it's highly problematic. Dehaga is the only one that hasn't fallen on the blue team side. He's the only one that has not died. 25,000 damage now for Hanzo. We're getting, for the red team, 35,000 for Cassia. She's now taking over from Genji. And they're just reigning supreme here. The level 16 talents, of course, playing a big role in the advantage that they now have, but it's also the level advantage in and of itself. They're ahead by 2 levels, as we are getting closer to the next fight at the bot lane. They're invading the camps again. There's 2 seeds now in the hands of the red team as well. So if they get the next one that has been spawning topside just now, they will get their first set of Garden Terrors. Things are looking really good for them. And a comeback, while not impossible, is getting more difficult by the minute for the blue team. The Space Goofs, they're in trouble. Cassia has now 55 stacks, so the numbers, they're rising. She's getting more and more out of this, scaling into the late game. And with the Garden Terrors that they've just locked in, and the 2 camps that they have on the lane in the middle and down at the bottom of the map, they can now try to take some of these keeps out. And stopping them is going to be difficult. It's going to be super tricky, because again, there's no level 16 for the blue team. And they somehow have to stop that onslaught, but with what? They just have nothing to really throw at their opponents. Down at the bottom of the map, yeah, Dehaga's already there. Jaina gets murdered by Genji. They go for Varian. He's trying to get out. No chance. Even with the bubble from Lucio, he's not going to make it. Lucio's ult was not enough, and they're losing everything. The Quasar is the only survivor. Once again, everybody else is gone, and that is just disastrous. Insanely well done. Team Ash, it's their first qualifier, and they are coming in swinging. They're going for the Hawkeye again. They won't be able to take him down, but it doesn't really matter anymore because the core will certainly fall. That thing just can't run. If it could, it would run away. If the core could, it would run away as fast as possible, but it's 16 kills to 3 and a 1-0 lead in the best of 3 for Team Ash. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, we're back to Cursed Hollow, one of the favorite maps these days of Team Ash, as it seems. And they have taken the lead. They're looking for the 2-0 victory to move on to the next round, where they would face off against the Svenskars. But I'm still... honestly, I did not expect the first map to be this one-sided. Team Ash totally stepped it up, came out swinging. Space Goofs weren't ready for it and got murdered. That's essentially what happened there. Now that we're heading into game number 2, blue team will have to step it up a bit if they want to have a chance here. We're in Cursed Hollow, and let's see what they can do. But it is definitely gonna be a bit tricky if they're not stepping it up big time, because that first game, that was a bit of a lesson that they got taught. And well, we have an immediate pick into Maiev. Okay. With that, they want to be aggressive from the get-go. I like that as the initial approach. I'm curious to what exactly Bishops is going to play now in game number 2. What we're going to get from him. A couple of the heroes that we normally expect from him are already gone. Might still get that Chromie at some point, obviously. But our first two picks are Murden and Falstad. What? Ah, yeah, right. Falstad was actually not played yet. Oh, okay, my bad. I was like mixing it up with the previous series. Falstad is something that Morenas can play, but it's always something that they can swap over to Bishops as well, as I've explained a couple of times in this qualifier. But now, what are the Space Goofs going to do here? What are we getting from them? I love this team. I love that they're having so many good players over there. It's just glorious to see X-Ray again, Dequaza again. Now we're even getting Sergeant Hammer together with Tyrael. So yes, not only great for Maiev, but also to keep Hammer alive. It's Hammer time on Cursed Hollow. Not only Murden, but also the Sergeant. And yeah, that's a very early commitment to this too. Can they make that work? Team Ash knows what's happening here, so they can now react to it. Can ban another hero out? Okay, they ban Zeratul. Yeah, Zeratul wants chicken, right? So if you have a Falstad on your team, it's usually Genji and Zeratul that you have to be the most careful about. Maybe Tracer to an extent as well. But yeah, anything that can jump on you and take advantage of your low hit points. But now, yeah. I still want to see how they are dealing with Sergeant Hammer. They got Muradin, he can always jump in. They got Falstad, Gas can come in from the side. We've seen Ultralisk, for example, in one of the previous tournaments play fantastic Falstad, where he just always flanked in and even flew in to get gusts. Normally, this is a little bit of a low elo meme where Falstads just fly in and then instantly die before they can even gust or just miss it. But he hit the angle perfectly every single time. And if they can do that on the red team side, then the only thing that's going to save Sergeant Hammer is siege tactics on level 4, and if that's on cooldown, then you are going to be in real trouble. So we could see some plays like that. We get ETC again, stage dive, side lane, and Anduin. That is also going to be interesting in the context of Light Bomb, because now we have a Power Slide Light Bomb engage, I suppose, and Murden can jump in too with it. They still need some extra damage from Bishops, but this can be a very annoying comp to go up against. And Anduin can also save targets very nicely, of course, whenever they're a bit too deep. I'm still expecting Sanctification from Tyrael and not Judgment necessarily, given that they are playing with Maiev here. Depends, I suppose, a bit also on what else they're picking. But we get Fat Illidan and Deckard Cain. So, yeah, they are definitely diving in deep. And with Chen, you can create space with the barrel also whenever Hammer is getting attacked to try and save her. So, a nice lineup for the blue team. Reaction by Team Ash, their final pick on Cursed Hollow. What do we get from them? They need a bit more damage to deal with Hammer here. But I love that the blue team is going in with an aggressive lineup, that they're not after map number 1 just trying to play this a little bit more slow, maybe full macro. Instead, we get them with an aggressive build, and we get Li Ming as a reaction from Team Ash as we are heading into the first match point for Team Ash, game number 2 on Cursed Hollow. The Space Goofs on the left, down 1 game in the best of 3 series. Now the opportunity to tie it up and force game number 3. We got Play on Tyrael, Chiseka on Maiev. Yasuo is the one that now plays Sergeant Hammer. X-Ray locked it in initially, but they had a bit of a debate and they decided that Yasuo is just way better at right-clicking. He does it like no other. His mouse clicks are fantastic, and X-Ray is just not mechanically on the same level when it comes to these auto attacks. So Yasuo it is. X-Ray instead on Deckard Cain, the old geezer that is a little bit more the pace of the German, whereas Dequaza plays Fat Illidan. We got Chen in the house. On the right side of the map, Renella on Anduin for Team Ash, Bishops on Falstad, Maitri with Murden, we got Morenas on Li Ming, and Down for Life is playing ETC, as they are hoping to close out the series with a 2-0 to move on against the Swedish team in the losers bracket final. Sergeant Hammer, absolutely unimpressed over here. Just eats the combo. Like, yeah, I don't care. Level 1, the advanced artillery once again. Down at the bottom of the map, Chen is going up against ETC. And Muradin has already gone for Dwarf Block. Adapting, of course, his build a little bit to what's happening. And connects the Stormbolt. They're trying to go for Deckard Cain again. And barely gets away. And then Maiev says hello. They kill Falstad, but they also lose Sergeant Hammer. So both teams lose a damage dealer. and go for the easy exchange all the way up at the top. Okay, so Dequaza and Down for Life still the solo lane, where everybody else is now starting to spread out a bit more now that the camps have spawned. Particularly Maiev will of course not only be going for flanks and hunts, but also using her cleaves to go for some camps, which we are seeing right here with the help of Deckard Cain and Yasuo on Sergeant Hammer. Birdie's doing the same thing. Again, first tribute spawns at the bottom of the map this time, so the red team doesn't have to hold back the Siege Giant camp. They take it immediately. They go for a bit of a different rotation. This one is being held back though, because you can time it properly with the tribute spawn and then pin down the top laner for Team Ashe a bit longer, which is going to be false. That is the only global, so he still will be able to fly down if we just buy enough time. But still something that can give you additional value, so there's no real reason to not go for it. Now, Mirrodin already jumping out, as this attack is starting to cause them a bit of headache. Yeah, they are getting more aggressive against it now, but one of the towers is already gone. And Chen isn't looking too good. He goes down as they are cutting him off completely from the wall, and the blue team is opening this wall up quickly. So now with 2 kills to 1. Looking at a pretty neat spot in the game where they are pressuring, not only do they have a lead in experience, but also they are pressuring the opponent nicely in the middle. Allowed Maiev to move towards the top 2 and lock in some additional experience. And Chen is at the bottom of the map doing essentially the same thing over here. So yeah, things are, at least initially, working pretty well for the blue team. If they can keep that up, if they can maintain that momentum, that's a totally different story. And they might quickly realize that it's not working for them, but at least for now they can save Sergeant Hammer. The orb came out a bit late there, but again, orbs like this that are just slightly delayed have killed more than one hero. So Hammer moves out, tribute number 1 has now spawned, and that's by the way where the Siege Giants are ready at the top of the map. But they're not even going for it. They're giving the tribute up, as it seems. Or so I thought, but Chen is still willing to go in a bit deep. There's nothing that really can deal with him, and the more time they buy, the more time they have at the top to utilize Sergeant Hammer and Tyrael to push through the wall. They also got level 7 talents, so that half-level lead is now leading to a talent advantage that they might even be able to use to grab the first tribute. They're really trying to go for everything they can now. Mirrodin assisting topside, full stat, yeah, get some damage out. Good for them. And down at the bottom of the map, the party continues as they are aiming for ETC, who will have to slide out, and that's X-Ray channeling it through. Nobody in range anymore to deal with it. ETC is already too low. Tribute number 1, therefore, ends up in the hands of the Space Goofs. Finally, level 7. That gives us, of course, Calamity. And ETC with the follow-up going for the Pinball Wizard after already speccing into level 4 accordingly. Nice dodge. Stormbolt connects with Deckard Cain. Not quite who it was aimed for, but still. If they are now going in with false stat, they should be getting Maiev. And yes, Maiev goes down. Nicely done. So at least they get the kill against her. They're trying to catch up here. Now they go for Deckard Cain. X-Ray, and Deckard Cain goes down faster than Bite when he tries to walk up a flight of stairs. Tyrael also got murdered. The old man gone, and the righteous one got dropped too. 4 kills to 2, and Team Ashe is a little bit back to business. They still have lost a lot of structures, so that's another problem. All the way up at the top, as you can see, the wall has been destroyed, and the fort has taken some damage too. In the middle of the map, they are still starting to try and repay them in kind, with Liming firing one combo after another, but they haven't broken through neither the gate nor the towers yet. But at least there's a little bit more momentum now for the blue team, so they are getting there. It's level 9 versus level 9. They've even taken a tiny lead in experience, which is neat. And they can now try to go for the tribute, but the position is obviously highly unlucky for the red team. Space Goofs will probably walk away with a 2 tribute lead given the circumstances, all things considered here. The only thing that could prevent that is level 10 kicking in just a bit faster. And you know what? That might actually happen. So they are about to hit that. Nice combo connect too. Level 10 is ready. We get the barrel. Everything as expected. The old man is going to tell us stories again. And ETC went as expected for stage dive, which is going to help them to go straight in for Sergeant Hammer. So, top side. Yeah, Tyrael with Sanctification as well. Chiaseka with Maiev has not moved in yet here at the side. Deckard Cain trying to channel again. They're jumping in with Illidan. Falstad isn't ready, and the Tribute will be grabbed. Tribute is taken. ETC moved in, tried for a good slide, only gets it against Maiev, and they're following up with a potentially Ming kill, but they cannot get to her. Falstad is hiding in the bush, and everybody seems to be just willing to slowly... Oh, well, no, maybe not. They're committing. They're committing with the light bomb. Nope, they're not letting this slide. They go for Tyrael, and he doesn't even get an opportunity to drop his Sanctification. He just dies instantly. Now they tell... Ah, Maiev! The combo! Oi, 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 oi. The hammer is murdered, but Maiev made it out. Sergeant Hammer goes down, Li Ming with a couple of resets, and scratch what I said a second ago. Maiev is still dead, and Muradin needs to get away from the minions and run straight into Quasar, who drops him. Muradin was literally trying to get away from the minions because they were about to kill him, and he's like, don't body block me, get out of the way! And then, yeah, Chen comes in from the bottom of the map, and there's just no surviving it. Neither is there for Anduin, who also falls. So what looked like a fantastic win is very quickly turning into defeat. They killed so many heroes in that last fight, and then they lost about the same amount as Chen came in and just crushed them. One at a time. So Quasar stepping it up big time here. Right now we got 30,000 for Li Ming, we got 18,000 for Chen, who is justifiably now the top damage dealer in the game. And there's a curse. Another tribute came up. They were able to lock it in, Chen got it, and we are seeing the Space Goofs fighting back. So they are starting to do some honest work here and take down forts and hope to move this forward to maybe even, I don't want to say drop a key, but yeah. There's the Gust, and as mentioned already in the draft, we had them very quickly use siege tactics, and Falstad goes down. Did he barrel into the wall? Did I see that correctly? I think he wanted to go over and kind of misclicked that one. Sergeant Hammer survives, Falstad doesn't. The top and the bot fort are about to get dropped, and now that they got the extra kill, they might even be able to take the keep in the middle after all. Great position for the Space Goofs. Totally different game from what we've seen on map number 1. And there is a mad lead now for the team in blue. They're gonna get this keep. Falstad is back, but if they want the keep, they're gonna get it. They might have to sacrifice a hero. Even that is a question mark. But this is just looking fantastic. And yeah, boy, oh boy, are they hurting. Muradin even in trouble. And could get killed, but there was another stun. Disc coming out, though. So, can't do anything about that. Still, bot lane is getting attacked. Top lane also a bit in trouble. And if you're on the Space Goof side, you're very happy with what's going on here. I mean, boy, are they in a good mood now. 6 kills to 7, 1 level ahead, taking structures down all over the place, including a keep. It's about as good as it gets. Each team can now go for a boss, which is definitely hurting the red team a lot more. So yeah, Team Ash might be having some problems too. Chen against ETC down at the bottom of the map still. And while they are opening this up, we also have the boss claimed by the Space Goofs. Now topside gets taken just a little bit sooner, but they have to respond at the bottom of the map. Over here, you still have the fort standing as the boss moves in, down at the bottom of the map where the real party is going to happen in a few minutes or few seconds. This is going to be a much bigger problem because this one is traveling straight in for the keep. And if they now take a second keep out this early in the game at the 10-minute mark, the catapults alone are going to rip Team Ash a new one as this game progresses. So yes, they are in for a world of pain if they can't stop this. But, well, they have to try. ETC comes in, the disc is there, in comes the Gust. Once again, siege tactics from Sergeant Hammer to make sure that they're not losing their damage dealer. But they might lose Deckard Cain. Great sanctification once more by Tyrael, and the fight is still raging on. The boss also hammering away at the keep. They're really trying to get this one. Meantime, we have 29,000 damage for Sergeant Hammer and 46,000 for Li Ming, but if she can't translate it into kills and resets, then that's still a problem. So, yep, keep is gone, and they're not done with it. Boss is at half HP, and the stun on ETC! Boss stun on ETC, Deckard Cain follow-up, and he turned into ETC! Horrible, I know, but still. And they're going for more. Bishops is about to die though, and so is Morena. Both of them go down. Muradin has already fallen. I think we're in for a quick one. This seems like game. Core is slowly falling. Nobody can beat the hammer, apparently. 10 to 7 kills, 16 to 15. Having the extra talent now, too. And that is a tie in the series as we are moving on to game number 3, everybody. Nicely done, the Space Goofs. They take the W on Cursed Hollow and force the final map of the series. So, this is a little bit more like it. Game number 3, Towers of Doom, as our third and final map in the best of 3. We are still in the losers bracket of qualifier number 4, and the winner moves on to the loser bracket final to face off against the Svenskas. So, final map, and we're going to Towers. Instantly the question if somebody might bust out the Vikings. Sometimes I hate these people. Sometimes I really, really hate all of them. Oh, come on. That was the opportunity to get Vikings in. And the first thing they do is ban them. Not even as a second ban, not even as a third or anything. Nope. Instantly getting rid of the Vikings. It's like, wow. Oh boy. Okay. Alright. Who knows? Maybe we're getting Samuro. Don't you dare ban him now. Maybe we're getting something like Samuro. Time will tell. Right now, Hogger, he gets the axe. Don't mind that, but yeah, we'll see. I just cannot believe that the moment I talk about the Vikings, they just ban them. This is ridiculous. Okay, so the final ban in our first ban phase. Let's see what they're getting rid of. I mean, you can still target some players. They ban Zeratul out, fair enough. When we're talking about Team Ash, they will definitely... could even get a Rexa at some point. But there's still plenty available, particularly for the side lane. You can still play Leoric, for example. So he's another good one. We haven't seen Urel that. Both of them might be a hero that gets also picked up by Dequaza. Yep. Could get that. Brightwing, okay, as our initial pick. And then the first double pick here. The heroes that I'm most interested in is what Dequaza is going to play and what we're going to get from both Morenas and from Bishops. So, yeah. Here comes Urel. Again, was a big option. And we get Diablo. Alright, Diablo in the house to bully people around. That's such a good front line. Again, if you have watched ATC, you probably remember there was actually a triple pick that existed that I believe had one of the most insane win rates ever. If you had Diablo, Urel and Deckard Cain on the same team, that comp had nearly 100% win rate. It was absolutely insane. It was ridiculous. Nobody ever died. There was just like too much sustain and basically no team was ever able to break through it. We get a Vala. That's already a huge W. Now the only question is, are we going to get an arrow build or do we get auto attack? And if we do get auto attack, do we get it with the double support or not? Uther could be banned now. If they're worried about an Uther main tank, then they should ban it right here, right now. Huh? What? Asmodan? Did I miss a patch? Oh, I'm just kidding, there's no patches. But yeah, that is a wild ban. That is wild. This looks a little bit like a bullshit ban to me. They don't want to ban somebody, they want to just like show their superiority and then they do that. I was expecting an Uther ban, to be honest, or an Uther pick for them, and well, there is the Uther pick. They get Uther, and we get Suljin. Awesome. Alright. If they didn't plan on picking Uther for themselves, they would have banned him. Because, again, double support Vala with Uther main tank is such a big deal. But we get Uther, and Suljin for the blue team. Totally on board with this. Suljin with the big stacks as well. And now we got the final double pick in this series for Team Ash with Stitches and Mephisto. Alright, Vala with a solo support, but she has a second damage dealer at her side. And with that now we're getting the final pick. I kind of like it. Suljin can be pretty epic with this. I mean, technically they could even go into a double support themselves if they really wanted to. They can just try and get Suljin into a late game where he just stacks into Oblivion and then murders everybody in their path. But yeah, highly unlikely that that happens. But anyways, Suljin is going to be fun here. So we get Kerrigan, and that is Towers of Doom, everybody. Final map in the best of 3 series. Which team drops out of the tournament here and takes 4th spot? And which team is able to move on to play in the losers bracket final against the Swedish team. We'll find out right here in Towers of Doom. Let's go. Game number 3. It's gonna get spicy. We have stacks on both sides. Over on the left, it is Play rocking Diablo for the Space Goofs. We have Chiaseka on Kerrigan. Dequazas playing Urel. X-Ray finally is allowed not only to play support but also go into damage with Suljin. And we have Yazu on Uther. Over on the right side, it's Bishops playing Stitches for Team Ash. We have Morenas on Vala going into an arrow build and starting to stack it up here with the added damage. That means Renella is on Brightwing. We have Maitri on Mephisto, and we're looking at Down for Life playing Leoric in the final game of this best of 3 series.
The battle begins.
Even the timing on their drops or whatever that was couldn't be any better. So, yeah, good stuff. But let's see how exactly this is going to work out. We have, of course, Vala trying to stack, and we have also, on top of that, the attempt to stack up Suljin. Both of them would be very comfortable into a late game scenario, but who is going to be able to stack more? On level 1, we're getting immediately Recklessness, so that's already kicking in. And Suljin is hammering away at it. Now, with Suljin, there's obviously always the question what exactly you're going to do on level 7. If you're going into Arcanite access, the dream would be to stack to 30 as quickly as you can to get the double swing going. I mean, generally speaking, you want to stack as high as possible to get those murderous auto attacks. Vala with only 1 arrow connected, but who cares? They get the kill. They come in and they take first blood as Kerrigan gets murdered. Diablo, as usual these days, has gone into Soul Shield as his level 1 choice. At least Suljin was able to get a few stacks together. And he is going to be the biggest threat to specifically Stitches in the later stages of the game if he is able to get his stacks. Stitches is going to rock that massive hit point pool. And if X-Ray is then able to just get those heavy auto attacks coming, then Stitches is going to melt away heavily. So that's what they're essentially looking for here. But Diablo goes down first. And this is starting to, I don't want to say look grim, but definitely a bit annoying. If the early game goes this poorly that first you're losing Kerrigan and then you're losing your main tank shortly after, allowing your opponent to move to the camp and steal that away from you, there's always a bit of a loss. But at least there's a few counter kills finally coming. Also a nice combo from Kerrigan as they're trying to go for Vala. She's at 3 stacks right now. Brightwing destroyed means that there is no support any longer. And with the stuns that are coming, Suljin can just weave in these auto attacks. So it's glorious for them. Not only are they able to get the kill on Stitches, but they're also slowing him down as he attempts to retreat so that Suljin gets additional stacks. And he's already at 9. That's awesome. That's fantastic for them. 9 stacks at the 2-minute mark is pretty big. That's a really nice start for Suljin. And again, this could very well translate into them picking Arcanite access on level 7 so that they're getting even more damage there. And they're already moving back in with another Kerrigan combo, but this time the damage follow-up wasn't ready for it. So 2 kills to 2. Level 4 to 4. And it's essentially exactly what we expected as we headed into the series. We kind of expected a very even match, but I didn't expect the games to go the way that they did. Game 1 being a little bit of a stomp, and then on the second map, maybe more of a chance for Team Ash, but still a very dominant performance from the blue team. As is now, though, in game number 3, we're probably going to get more of a back and forth if the first few minutes are any indication for what's going to follow. But right now, the triple altar phase is coming up. Vala is, of course, working on her stacks as well. She's currently sitting on 5. Nothing insane, but has the repeating arrow, which will easily allow her to weave in a few more of those hits. And Kerrigan gets attacked, has to be careful here. Mephisto also, a huge damage monster. Yeah, Vala with 1, Vala with 2, and still stacking it up here. We're definitely going to see a bit of a battle between the damage dealers as all of this continues. Right now, Suljin is already at 10 stacks, so at 15 is going to get the range increase, which is going to make his life also a lot easier. Yeah, sitting at 12, working in a few more, as Vala is trying to do the same thing here. Gets caught by Kerrigan though, still able to survive on the other hand, and Kerrigan gets punished. How dare you stun me? While they did that though, X-Ray, he's gonna die for it, but oh, he gets a kill too. Okay, I was about to say he's going to die for the channel on the altar because he just snuck that in while the fight played out at the bottom. But then he gets a kill on Vala. He dies himself, so not only did he get the altar channel, but he also was trading his own life for Vala's. That's pretty solid. Another hook, Poli coming in instantly afterwards. And let's see how much further they can go with this. Structurally, the red team still has the advantage. They've been pushing this over and over again. Vala has now gone into Frost Shot as well, which of course was to be expected. Doesn't have to go for Monster Hunter on this map, not really a necessity. There's the Arcanite Axis for Suljin, so yeah, they're going all out damage with him on this one. Yeah, they're gonna try and stack it up as much as they can and turn him into the damage monster that he can be. Right now, he is at 12,000 damage. Vala is ahead. Vala is, of course, carpeting the floor with multi-shots whenever she gets an opportunity to do that. In addition, she's also working the numbers on her multi-shot stacks, so things are looking great. Maybe not for Diablo, though. He's low, still getting attacked. Able to get out. Good for him. A lot of skirmishes here. That's great for both of the heroes that are trying to stack here. That's fantastic for Vala, that's fantastic for Suljin. The more skirmishes, the better the stacking. And then it's coming down at the end of the day which one of them is going to be killed more, which one of them can stack more, and also which team is able to deal better with all of this. Vala obviously thrives in an environment later on where she goes one-on-one, toe-to-toe with somebody, so she can unleash the damage on the single target. But here's the next fight already breaking out with Brightwing nearly dying immediately. Suljin is sitting at 21 stacks. Blue team steals the camp. Mephisto barely getting out. Leo is not going to be that lucky. He gets dropped by Kerrigan. Double kill for the blue team. And really nice numbers now for most of the quest talents. I mean, it's not only Vala and Suljin. We have a few more that are working on these two. If you're looking over to Mephisto, he's at 39, so nearly done with his own quest. We have Leo ghosting towards the middle. And immediately gets used as a pincushion again by Suljin and dies. He came, he saw, and Leo keyed again. So he goes down, bye-bye. And that is not only more stacks for Suljin, but also the end for Leoric once more. He went guillotine on the other hand. Oh my god. X-Ray. Oh. No. Guillotine is shit. It's such a gambling talent. It's taking a massive risk for no real reason, given how the stats are currently going for him. He's stacking so well, why risk that? Why risk making that play? I mean, they can get the snipes with him, but we'll see if that's going to work out. Every time I see Guillotine, it's such a gimmicky talent to have. It's amazing when it hits, but there's so many games where Suljin loses, and you know for a fact that he would have absolutely dominated team fights if he would have just had his level 10, and then later, of course, with the 20 upgrade, an even stronger tool in his arsenal. Yeah, this has to be, I hope for a misclick. There's a high chance that this is actually a misclick. But again, we'll see how they're playing it out. It's not all is lost. He just can't die now. They go for Vala again, and does she survive? Dequaza could go in for her, but they're retreating. 30 stacks. Yeah, well, Guillotine is used for that, for example. Well done. 30 stacks for Suljin. That means that he's now getting the double swing, so Arcanite Axes are going to stack up much faster. But yeah, this is the beauty sometimes of Guillotine. These are the good moments. There's a lot of bad moments with it, but look at Vala here. Vala is running, and then she dies. Gets absolutely kicked. Oh, great. Yeah, and this obviously has a bit of an impact on all of this. We are now looking at Vala on 29,000 damage. Suljin is already sitting at 33,000, and he is going to continue to drop the numbers in. The more stacks he gets, the worse it's going to be for the red team. So, there's the swing and the Arcanite Axis, and boy, is that going to wreck them later. 4 more shots are fired. That puts the red team's core down to 20 points against 36 now in total. And they're also invading the next camp in an attempt to take down one more pumpkin set. 24 stacks for Suljin. Again, this isn't crazy yet. We're only... Look at the time. We are only 8 minutes into the game, 8.5. So this is by no means crazy. We're not in a scenario yet where this is just insane, where we're having late game Suljin murdering things. But just imagine this continuing until 20 minutes in, if this makes it to level 20, for example. That would be just brutal. And we might get to see that. Vala is at 28 stacks, which honestly is not that bad either. 28 stacks for Vala can be quite nice. And they can drop the single target damage now onto Diablo. Vala is working in a few more hits with her arrows, and it is really chunking Diablo down. Every single time you have a Gorge and then Vala gets to drop her arrows on an isolated target, it's going to hurt. And with the siphoning arrows now coming in, maybe even the 16 upgrade, which we're likely gonna see all things considered, this could make things so much worse for anyone that gets hooked by Stitches and then gobbled up a moment later. There's another combo though, and Suljin just loves these moves. Every time Kerrigan gets these combos, he is just dropping the damage. Misses the guillotine over here, but yep, they go again for Stitches. He dies, 35 stacks to 30 for Suljin, and they're dropping Mephisto as well. To be honest, this is getting worse and worse for the red team. They were initially the ones to make a couple of sweet moves here, but now they are in serious trouble. They're really having trouble dealing with the damage. That's simply what it is. Suljin is at 44,000. Vala is also bringing good numbers in, but it's just not really the same. She drops the arrows and gets them connected, but when we're talking about objective control, it's super clear that there's only one team making the moves at this point, and this is clearly the Space Goofs. They're going for the bell tower conversion. They still have 36 points on their own core. They've only lost a single altar throughout the entire game. Vala, by the way, has now taken over on the damage numbers, so she's a little bit ahead of Suljin even. Yeah, those arrows definitely doing work. No doubt about it. But is it going to be enough? Is that going to be enough for the team as the game continues? They've lost the bell tower at the bottom of the map right now, so they're going to try and take this back as quickly as they can. With level 16 talents, we're now also looking at the wrong place, wrong time for Suljin. Again, he's still trying to get everything together. Top side, Leo, not really getting caught for a moment, but they are actually moving in for the boss, and yep. Suljin is easily dropping this one, so good for them. Looking quite nice now. If not for Vala, then this could be the Suljin show. But with Vala, who knows? If they get those hooks, if they get that isolation, she might be the one to turn things a little bit. She is top damage right now. And Mephisto's not too bad either. I mean, we've been ignoring him a little bit because we have the 2 auto attackers just doing work, but Suljin is the only one on the blue team that is this far ahead. Whereas we had Mephisto as an additional damage dealer for the opponent. Diablo is gonna die now. He's not gonna make it. Yep, death zone and arrows. Morenas must be on cooldown. I have no idea why he's not using at least one arrow. He's a bit low on mana, but he will have to retreat anyways. That's 3 stacks right there. But he's at 50,000 damage. And they're getting level 16 right now. And I would... No, he's still going for it. Alright. He is actually... Okay. Exchanged, fired, shots all over the place. 8 points, single digits now on the core. And the bell tower has been converted over again. But he actually went into Manticore. Manticore for Vala, so not going all out into the spell damage here. Another hook, long distance, and 5 more shots. 3 only left for Team Ash. It's the Space Goofs that are really dominating this currently. And Suljin is starting to murder things. So is Vala, but it doesn't really matter. It really seems that the blue team just has this, I don't want to say in the back, but they definitely have the upper hand right now. Once again, we have them going deep. Vala at 42 stacks. She's getting the numbers. She's dishing out the damage. She's at 58,000. And with those hooks and gorges, they might get a few more kills in. And indeed they do. They are able to drop Carrigan, so that's a double kill. But with only 3 points on the core and 32 for the blue team, we've seen crazy comebacks on this map, but that is maybe stretching it a little bit. Vala is defending the bottom of the map, as she has to, because, well, there's pumpkins coming in, and that would end the game and win it for the Space Goofs. So Ash is at least fighting back, but it might be a little bit too late to make that work. Urel and Uther have not died yet in this entire game on this map, so they haven't been dropped even once. And now Leo still sitting at the top. A few more pumpkins are coming through. Vala in an ideal world would of course also try to take back the bell tower at the bottom of the map, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. And she will now have to move back towards the top. They have to fight this, and already they're in trouble, forced into a battle that they don't really want to have. So yes, Vala is going to be on the way, but Leo goes down most likely. If they can get the counter kill, and they do, that's amazing. And they might even get another one. Yep, that's the end of Uther. Uther is gonna die, and now they might just be able to take this after all. Yep, I'm sorry, bro, but even with Redemption, or sorry, with Redemption, with the Divine Shield, not gonna go away from this. So yeah, Vala is in, takes actually Suljin down, has to run away from Diablo still. It's not able to make that work. But yeah, they're obviously gonna get both of these altars. 15 to 11 kills now. And they are fighting back, but it's only 6 shots that they're going to get if they are channeling both. So that's not a whole lot. That drops the blue team down to 26. Nothing crazy. At least Vanda was also killed. So currently 61,000 damage for both of the damage dealers. But yeah. Down at the bottom of the map now with the upper hand in numbers, they can go and take the bell tower back. Would have been amazing for them if they could have done that previously. But obviously not enough time and space for that. But at least in experience, the two teams are now even. So Team Ash, they're fighting tooth and nail here. Again, the first qualifier for them, and they're going to have a bit of a tougher time getting into the playoffs if they are dropping out now. It's still a 4th place in their first qualifier, which isn't bad. But if you can just make it into the next round, maybe even into the grand final, that would be so much better for them. So everybody is still ready to fight, ready to battle it out. Level 20 talents are kicking in. We get the Acrobat. And Leo is going Burning Despair. Burning Despair for Leoric. I mean, I would be despairing a bit too if I had only 3 points on my core, but he's taking literally here. And we got the Buzzsaw. So off we go. Boss coming back up in 27 seconds. So that's also a concern. There is one... I mean... Do they know that the boss is back up in 27 seconds? Hello? Apparently they do, and they don't care. And the blue team, for some reason, decided that they're not going to go for the boss. Okay, now they decided to go for it. But, yeah, they better run. Boss in 5, and they got to go top. Diablo's trying to stop them. Diablo's trying to stop them, gets immediately attacked, and in the meantime, the rest of the team is working on the boss. They might have just thrown their game away. I don't think they realized the timing. And, well, that's okay. Divine Shield is in. Leo's about to die. And that's game. Yeah, that's game. GG. The Space Goofs take it, ladies and gentlemen, and move on to the losers bracket final as they take Team Ash out on Towers of Doom. GG.